Have you ever felt like a company just isn't listening? Like they're so busy trying to sell you their thing, they totally forgot to ask about your problem? Well, today we are digging into the massive mindset shift that fixes exactly that. It's the evolution from the old school 4 Ps of marketing to the customer-obsessed 4 Cs. So let me just ask you this straight up. Is your marketing playbook from 1960? Because let's be real. We're not marketing to some passive audience on a couch anymore. We are talking to super empowered customers, right? They've got the entire internet in their pocket and thousands of opinions at their fingertips. The old rules, they don't just bend anymore. They absolutely break. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to rewind and look at the classic playbook. Then we'll pinpoint that exact moment the customer took over. After that, we'll do a side-by-side breakdown of the old thinking versus the new. And most importantly, we're going to wrap up with a real, concrete action plan so you can put all of this to work. Okay, let's start at the very beginning. To really get where marketing is heading, you've got to understand its foundation. And for like half a century, that entire foundation was built on 4 little letters, the 4 Ps. This timeline really tells the whole story, doesn't it? The 4 Ps pop up in 1960, and they basically give structure to that whole Mad Men era of mass marketing. But then, by 1990, you can feel things starting to change. A guy named Robert Lauderborn sees that the power is shifting, and he proposes the 4 Cs. And then, bam! The internet explodes in the 2000s, and suddenly, his customer-focused ideas aren't just smart, they're essential for survival. Which, of course, brings us to today, where the smartest companies have figured out you gotta use both. So what really happened here? I mean, this wasn't just some professor's new theory. The entire game board got flipped upside down. Power literally moved from the boardroom to the living room. And honestly, marketing has been trying to catch up ever since. You see, the internet and social media didn't just give customers a voice, they gave them a megaphone and a massive research library. All of a sudden, buyers were doing their own research, trusting online reviews way more than TV ads, and they started to expect these personalized, two-way conversations. That old playbook of just shouting one message at everybody, yeah, it started to sound completely tone-deaf. Okay, so let's put these two frameworks head to head. We're going to break down exactly how each of the old 4 Ps gets a much-needed, customer-focused makeover with the 4 Cs. Now, this first one, this is the big one. It's all about shifting your focus from what you make to what problem you actually solve for the customer. It sounds like a simple word change, I know, but it is a massive, massive change in mindset. Just look at this table. It shows you the mental leap. A product focus is all about features. Our razors have 5 blades. But a customer solution focus, that gets to the real need. Getting a great shave should be simple and affordable. That's the difference that basically launched Dollar Shave Club. One is all about what you built. The other is about what the customer needs. Next up, we have price. And this framework challenges us to stop thinking about price as just a number on a tag and start seeing it as the total investment the customer has to make to get their problem solved. And oh man, this is such a huge insight. The cost isn't just about the money, it's the time you waste on a confusing website, it's the effort of a difficult return process, it's the frustration of sitting on hold. I mean, think about it. Would you rather pay $10 for something with a seamless one-click checkout or $8 for the same thing if you have to fill out 5 pages of forms? The cheaper product can actually have a much higher total cost to you. The third shift moves us away from place, which is all about your distribution channels, and towards convenience. Because in a digital world, where you sell is way less important than how easy you are to buy from. This isn't just some theory, right? This is the entire business model of companies like Amazon. They don't force you to go to their physical store. That's place. Instead, they offer you one-click ordering on your laptop, voice ordering through Alexa, and delivery right to your doorstep. That's convenience. They meet you wherever you are, on your terms, and make it almost effortless to buy. And finally, we've got the old idea of promotion. Basically a one-way broadcast, just yelling your message out at the market. Well, that evolves into a genuine two-way dialogue with your customers. This last one really changes the whole nature of marketing. It's no longer a monologue where the company holds the microphone. It's a conversation. Just think about how brands use social media now. It's not just to advertise. They're in there answering customer questions, handling complaints out in the open, and even getting ideas for new products. They're actually listening, not just talking. So, does all this mean we should just throw out the 4 Ps? No, absolutely not. In fact, that's a really common mistake. The real genius here isn't about choosing one over the other. It's about using them together. Trust me, using either one of these frameworks by itself is a recipe for failure. If you only focus on the 4Ps, you become what we call the tone-deaf operator. You're efficient, sure, but you're completely out of touch with your customers. On the flip side, if you only focus on the 4Cs, you're the unprofitable friend. You totally get the customer, but you have no structure to actually deliver value in a way that keeps the lights on. Here is the absolute best way to think about this. The 4Cs are your lens. They're how you see the world through your customer's eyes. And the 4Ps, that's your structure. They are the building blocks you use to actually create your plan. Think about Tesla. Their 4Cs lens saw a customer need for a cool, high-performance electric car that was also a tech-savvy status symbol. Then their 4P structure went to work. They built the product, the Model S, set a premium price, sold it directly online, which was their place, and used PR and social media for promotion. You need the vision and the blueprint. Okay, theory is great, but how do you actually do this? Let's walk through a super simple 4-step plan to bring these two frameworks together in your own work. It all starts with an audit. Just ask, where are we being a little too focused on ourselves? Next, you adopt the customer's point of view. Run workshops, read every single review, really immerse your team in their world. Then you integrate. Use the 4Cs to define your big strategic goals, and then use the 4Ps to map out the tactics. And finally, you measure success not just in sales, but in things like customer satisfaction and loyalty. All right, to wrap all this up, let's take a quick look at why this integrated approach isn't just a good idea for today, but why it's absolutely essential for the future of marketing. And look, this whole customer-centric approach, it's not the end of the story. It's the foundation for everything that's coming next. Think about the rise of the experience economy, where the feeling of buying and using something is just as important as the thing itself. These new ideas aren't separate. They're just deeper ways of applying the core principles of the 4Cs. This evolution is only getting faster. If there's one quote that just nails this whole idea, it's this one. The 4Ps taught us what to do, the 4Cs taught us how to think. See? One gives you the tactics, the nuts and bolts. The other gives you the empathy, the strategy. You're just incomplete as a modern marketer without both of them. And that's really the ultimate shift this whole explainer has been about. If you can get your organization to stop focusing on just selling what you happen to make and start obsessing over solving what your customers actually need, you'll build marketing that doesn't just work, it wins in the modern world.